How are you? Good, how are you?
You're an amazing player. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You're changing the history in basketball.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming here.
Caitlin Clark, the basketball queen, was left absolutely speechless after Brazil's coach dropped a bombshell comment about her. Trust us, it's not your typical praise. You're going to need to hear this for yourself. Imagine someone calling out your game with the kind of shade that could make even the most seasoned athletes second-guess their moves. What did the coach say? Let's just say Caitlin was not expecting this level of honesty.
It's the way they received her, the way they celebrated her. It's quite a contrast that these women of color from Brazil and their coach had, as opposed to the American players and American women of color and how they treat Caitlin Clark.
Brazil, land of football, carnival, and now Caitlin Clark fans. Seriously, who would have thought that Caitlin Clark, the undisputed queen of college basketball, would find herself impressing not just basketball fans across the globe, but also a Brazilian coach who's probably forgotten more about the game than most of us will ever know. Yet here we are. The 2025 WNBA preseason exhibition game brought her face-to-face with Brazil's finest, and let's just say the Brazilian coach's reaction had everyone asking if he was witnessing the second coming of basketball itself.
The team she played against last night, and I understand a lot of this team was young, but the team she played against last night, getting pictures with Caitlin Clark at the end of the game, having her literally sign their jerseys, and those jerseys, you better believe the coach of the rival team being in shock. Like, this is the dream team. This is the dream team. This is the opponents getting pictures with the dream team.
First, let's just take a moment to acknowledge Brazil's coach, a man whose expertise in the game is probably unparalleled. Couldn't help but throw a giant bucket of praise on Caitlin Clark. This isn't the kind of praise you get from a relative trying to be nice when you hit a three-pointer at Thanksgiving dinner. No, this was some next-level basketball admiration. In fact, it's the kind of praise that makes you think, are we sure Caitlin Clark isn't secretly a Marvel superhero in disguise? A coach from Brazil, a country more known for soccer, throwing out this much adoration for a WNBA player. That's the kind of endorsement most athletes would sell their souls for.
Brazil, their coaching had no answer whatsoever for Caitlin Clark. And they threw so many different looks at her. Like, I've never seen a team throw so many different looks at a player.
Now, as that was not enough, Caitlin Clark signing Brazil's team jersey. Oh boy, that's not just an autograph, that's like getting the Mona Lisa to sign a napkin. Can we just stop for a second to imagine the audacity of the moment you're Caitlin Clark, you're basically untouchable in the basketball world, and suddenly you're signing a jersey for the Brazilian team. Let's be real, the only thing that could have been more iconic is if she signed it with a Sharpie and told them to frame it. Imagine the story. They'll tell in the locker rooms for years to come, oh, yeah, we played against Caitlin Clark, and she literally signed our jerseys. We're basically in the Hall of Fame now, right?
Go back with that shot. I know, I'm crazy. After you, can we do it?
Of course, the signing itself is an act of pure class, a rare moment where an elite athlete doesn't get too big for their britches. Caitlin could have easily been that player who refuses to interact with anyone not in her stratosphere of fame, but instead she probably signed those jerseys with a smile as wide as the Grand Canyon, making sure everyone in the room felt special, even though the only reason they were there was to witness her greatness. How generous of her. You know, it's just one of those things where you realize Caitlin Clark is not only dominating the court, but also winning hearts in the process, and no one can take that away from her.
The team were lining up to get autographs. She signed their jerseys. They were getting them to sign. They were getting her to sign their jerseys. She was signing the players' jerseys. This is like Dream Team. This is literally like Dream Team stuff. We haven't seen this since the damn Dream Team. She is literally signing the jerseys of teams she played against. She's signing their jerseys. They're that much in awe of her. And still, they were there. They were there. They were knocking her on her ass a couple of times. They were being physical. They were denying her. They didn't try to stop during the game. They just did not have it. They're so excited. They're taking pictures with her after the game. They're taking pictures. They're taking pictures with her like... It is...
Oh, it's truly a chef's kiss. Hilarious that the Brazilian women's national basketball team, who are out there mocking Caitlin Clark before the game, trying to mimic her iconic three-point shots like some wannabe basketball sorcerers, are now practically crawling on all fours just to snap a selfie with her and get their jerseys signed. Talk about a 180 degrees flip realization, huh? They went from trying to clown her to acting like starstruck fans in front of the actual GOAT. I mean, the irony here is so thick you could cut it with a basketball.
Across the footage of the Brazilian national team dancing on Caitlin Clark logo at Carver Arena. Man, a lot of people had mixed reviews about it. Well, it looked like that wasn't the only clip because the entire team got in on the action, bruh. Got in on the jumping on Caitlin Clark logo, stomping on it, dancing.
But Caitlin, oh, she wasn't here for the game. She didn't need to pretend to hit a shot. No, Caitlin came through and slapped down a real three-pointer from way behind the arc, like real deep, not that I'm playing pretend kind of stuff that the Brazilians were trying to pull. She didn't just talk the talk. She walked the walk. And then some of the crowd, they were probably still buzzing from that shot when Caitlin proceeded to carry that energy straight into the rest of the game. Meanwhile, the Brazilian squad, well, they were probably too busy thinking about how they could get Caitlin to sign their jerseys and maybe even post a selfie. I mean, these women went from trying to flex their non-existent range to begging for a picture with one of the most legendary ballers out there, classic. So, yeah, Caitlin Clark really proved that when it comes to being a GOAT, it's not about imitating others or doing some cheap shots to steal the spotlight. It's about showing up, doing the real work, and owning every single moment on the court. The Brazilian team probably learned the hard way that you can't fake greatness. Either you have it or you don't. And Caitlin, she's got it in spades.
Here comes Clark in transition. Clark, pull up three. You bet!
Let's just say she didn't need to play 40 minutes to prove she's head and shoulders above most of the competition. In fact, a mere 18 minutes on the court, and she left everyone questioning if she'd been playing with some kind of super speed or had secretly unlocked a cheat code for basketball. Seriously, 18 minutes isn't even enough time to finish a Subway sandwich, scroll through Instagram, and catch up on a couple of tweets. But Caitlin Clark took that tiny window of time and absolutely shredded the competition like a DJ tearing up a turntable at a rave. Every move was calculated, every pass was a thing of beauty, and every shot looked like it was scripted by the basketball gods themselves. Forget playing half a game. Caitlin might as well have been on fast forward while the rest of the court was stuck on pause. It was as if she had a turbo button no one else knew about, leaving defenders in her dust while they tried to figure out how to catch up. Spoiler alert, they didn't. If this was any other player, 18 minutes would have been laughable, but for Caitlin, it was a full-blown highlight reel.
Boy, oh boy, did that feel good. Did that feel good from Caitlin Clark opening up the game, pull-up three, bang, to the logo three to close the third quarter, walking off to a standing ovation. Caitlin Clark pulling up from 36 feet out. From start to finish, there was never a doubt in our mind. There was never a time where we even thought to ourselves, is this game going to be close? Indiana comes out, 8-0 run, close out the first quarter, close out the second quarter, close out the third quarter, sit our starters in the fourth quarter, and by the time it's all said and done, the Indiana Fever score more than double the Brazilian national.
Imagine Caitlin Clark on the bench, cool as a cucumber, watching her teammates sweat it out on the court, and she's just sitting there probably thinking, yep, when it's my turn, I'm just going to drop a few ridiculous shots, make everyone forget they even have a game plan, and then hit up the nearest coffee shop for a latte. It's almost like she's got a superpower to show up, do her thing, and then disappear before anyone even realizes what happened. You know that one person in every office meeting who manages to nail the presentation in 5 minutes and then pieces out while everyone else is still fumbling around with their slides? Yeah, that's Caitlin Clark. She's like the ultimate productivity guru, but for basketball. No need to waste 30 minutes on the court when you can just be the walking definition of efficiency in a fraction of the time. It's almost as if she's mastered the art of being effortlessly amazing while making everyone else look like they're trying too hard. At this rate, she could teach a masterclass on how to be ridiculously good without breaking a sweat.
This was our first look at Caitlin Clark in her second WNBA season, and she did not disappoint. She was raining threes, her handle looked tighter than ever, her vision was on point, and she brought this energy, and she brought the crowd, and everything was just electric because she was on the court.
In those 18 minutes, Caitlin didn't just play the game, she redefined it. Every time she made a shot, it wasn't just a basket, it was a statement. Her accuracy was immaculate. Each shot felt like it had its own gravitational pull, destined to land precisely where she wanted it to. You know that feeling when you solve a problem and think, I am a genius. Yeah, that's what Caitlin was doing, except she was playing basketball and making everyone else look like they were still figuring out how to dribble. Her decision-making was like she had a crystal ball and was 10 steps ahead of everyone on the court while the rest were still stuck on plan. Caitlin was on Plan Z, having already executed it flawlessly. It's the kind of intelligence that makes you wonder if she's secretly a basketball-playing mastermind plotting the downfall of every opponent. Her presence on the court was equally commanding, like she was standing there sipping tea while the others were scrambling. They were playing basketball. Caitlin, she was playing chess, and you could practically hear her saying, I'll take over when I feel like it. And when she did, absolute domination.
That. But all in all, Caitlin Clark with a plus 42. She played 18 minutes. She played 18 minutes and was plus 42. Plus 42. 42 in 18 minutes. And there was a stage where it was her with all the rookies and she was still just carrying them. She got 2 assists to, I think, to an Von Ejim. 1 foul, 3 turnovers to 5 assists. And again, the turnovers were just trying mad stuff. Like, it is what it is. Don't really care that much. But in 18 minutes, she had 16, 6, and 5. Like, that's so impressive on 60% shooting and 4.
Let's not kid ourselves. Caitlin Clark's game was nothing short of a masterclass in restraint and exhibition of just how effortlessly she can dominate while making it look like she's barely trying while other players were sweating through their jerseys, desperately scrambling to rack up points and play catch-up. Clark was over there in her own universe, casually letting everyone know that she could drop 30 points if she felt like it, but she didn't. Instead, she chose to let the game unfold with the calm, calculating poise of someone who knows they're already miles ahead of the competition. It's almost like she was playing a different game, one where efficiency reigns supreme and you don't need to overexert yourself to show you're the best in the room. Why tire yourself out with flashy, high-energy plays when you can simply glide through a game almost teasing the opposition with how effortlessly you're toying with them, and by the time the final buzzer sounds, there's just one question left on everyone's mind: did the other team even belong on the same court as her? The answer is obvious. That's the Caitlin Clark way. Efficiency with a side of swagger.
108-44, Caitlin Clark. Did she look rusty? I don't know. 16.6 rebounds, 5 assists, plus 42, plus minus in only 19 minutes of hoops. Caitlin Clark hoops are back. She looked good, folks.
But here's the thing. It's not just about her performance. It's about how she elevates the entire game itself. Watching Caitlin Clark on the court feels like witnessing someone solve a Rubik's Cube in their sleep, all while blindfolded and sipping a latte, while the rest of the players are still sitting there fumbling with the pieces and wondering if they can just microwave the thing and hope it solves itself. Caitlin doesn't just play basketball. She redefines it. She's out there making history and looking effortlessly cool while doing it, like she's reading a grocery list and crossing off world domination as a side note. And let's talk about those 18 minutes. Oh, you thought that was just a brief stint? No, my friend. Those 18 minutes weren't just a display of athleticism. They were a masterclass in how to make everyone else on the court look like they missed the memo. Caitlin Clark doesn't play by the rules. She rewrites them on the fly and then pulls out a pen to sign her own autograph at the bottom for good measure. It's like she decided the clock itself was just a suggestion. Watching her play is like watching someone play chess on hard mode while the rest are stuck on checkers. It's a game of mental gymnastics with a side of, oh, you can't keep up, that's cute.
And honestly, I didn't plan to shoot that logo three. I know coming into the game, everybody wanted me to shoot one from there. But Steph was like, was supposed to come out at the end of the third, so she's like, give a foul, give a foul, give a foul. And then it was 30 seconds on the clock, which like between 30 to 33, that's like your 2-for-1 range where you have to get one up. So I saw 30 as we're inbounding the ball, which probably is inbounding the ball at 30, probably a little low. But I was like, why not? Might as well launch one, and it went in, and then Steph used the timeout to get me out. But yeah, that was pretty fun.
Now here comes the Brazilian coach. You can see it in his eyes the moment Caitlin drops her usual brand of pure excellence. He's probably wondering if he's in some weird alternate reality where physics and basketball laws are just totally optional. He's trying to come to grips with what's happening, possibly rethinking every coaching decision he's ever made in his life. Did I just enter a parallel universe where Caitlin Clark can score effortlessly in 18 minutes? Or maybe I'm the one who's stuck in a simulation, and she's the glitch that's about to rewrite all the rules of the game. Either way, I'd bet he's already planning a Caitlin Clark Appreciation Day back in Brazil just to honor her greatness from afar. Seriously, at this point, if you're a coach who doesn't praise her after watching that, you might need a reality check, because when greatness is that blatant, denying it is basically like saying you don't believe the sun rises in the morning. Caitlin Clark is a walking, dribbling, shooting, donking epiphany. If you're not acknowledging her, you're clearly living in a parallel universe where mediocrity reigns supreme.